I don't care if you vape. No. What's up, guys? Garage Goons, episode 23, most trash show on YouTube. And today we have our guest, Geoff Benson.
Well, I'm shy. I'll get over it.
Yeah. So, so let me just kind of let the people know about you. I met you at Scrap Time way back in the day. This is like 2011, maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in there. And you were just like this look 145er maybe, and fucking just I remember just being tough as nails when we rolled. I couldn't submit you. So yeah. So you met through fighting.
Not to cut you off, but you were I don't know if you're the only person, but you're definitely the first. I think you're the only person that ever kicked me in the face.
Oh, sweet.
But I was happy when you did it. I'm like, whoa. Remember when we were sparring, like, at Scrap Time?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got me in the face. I'm like, dude, that was, like, awesome. Because, like, no one's ever done that. And I gave you a little fist bump.
Oh, okay. I feel like I know we scrapped we were doing some light sparring in my backyard. And I don't know. I was always a very lopsided guy, super heavy on the kickboxing. And, like, I wish I took jiu-jitsu and grappling more seriously. But anyways, it's not about me, man. It's about you. So, so 2011, where are you at with everything? You're in the MMA gym, learning how to fight.
Yeah, crap. I think I had my son by myself at the time.
Okay. So single dad.
Yeah. His mom moved to Vegas. And then, like, I enrolled my son into my school that I worked at. I work for the school district.
Oh, cool.
Special needs children.
Okay.
But yeah, so I would take him to class with me, like after work and stuff, and then that was fun. It was like I'm soft spoken too. It was like crap. I think that we got to me, but it'll come back in a second.
Okay. All right, so you enroll your kid in school. You're fighting at the time. What are you doing for work at the time?
Working with special needs.
Oh, right.
So,
yeah.
It's
Okay.
been 18 years. I'm still there.
That's awesome. Did you have to get a credential for that, or is it a special certificate, or how does that work?
Oh, no, you just need to have a clean background.
Okay.
And like, what's it called? A high school diploma or a GED.
Okay.
And then boom, got it. And like the weird thing is, I don't even know if I should say this online. Like, am I allowed to say it?
You can say whatever, man.
Sure, actually, I shouldn't on this one because
I
think I'll probably lose my job. But if
I
got in trouble. I'll just say a little bit about it since I spoke about it. But I got in trouble after the fact, after I got hired. So like, yeah, so I got lucky on that one because I already did the background check and stuff. But like,
gotcha.
But after that, then I was like, like good to go. Like, and then, yeah.
Okay, so you got caught up in something, but you already were hired at that point. So it was like, basically you already had everything sorted out. So, okay, fast forward a few years later, where are you at then? I know I've seen you upload a bunch of, oh man, forgive me for that plane, man. Pickup literally sounds like we're about to get blitzkrieg right now in fucking 1935 England right now. All right. So anyways, sorry about that. So you're working for a school district. You passed your whatever you needed to do to get hired. You got into a little bit of trouble, but it was kind of like a no harm, no foul situation, or don't ask, don't tell. I don't know what you want to call that.
Yeah, something.
And like as of late, I mean, we never really hung out a whole lot, but we ran in, I feel like, similar circles. I feel like we knew a lot of the same people. I've seen you, so I followed you on, or I befriended you on Facebook. I don't even know. It's been a long time, but then all of a sudden you popped up out of nowhere, and I saw you like posting a bunch of videos of you skateboarding and stuff like that. So tell me about that.
That one's interesting. So I like, everyone's like telling me, oh, you're too old to skateboard, this and that. And then in my mind, I'm like, too old meaning like you can't like progress or something. I don't know. Or, like, why am I too old for this? Or so I'm like, and then my second baby's mama, we just like gone through a breakup, and like skateboarding was my outlet, and she hated skateboarding with a passion. So I'm like, dude, I'm gonna try to go pro.
Is there a reason why she hated skateboarding? It seems like such an arbitrary sport to hate.
Right? Maybe she didn't hate it, but maybe she just hated the fact that I was doing it. A lot through our relationship.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I needed an outlet. And like,
yeah. I mean, it's you could have been going to the bar, which a lot of people do to deal with problems, or stepping out or whatever, negative things. But skateboarding, I feel like, seems positive, and it's not even. I mean, I know people get hurt all the time skateboarding, but it's not even that much of a violent sport. Sorry about that. Let me just make an adjustment here. All right, there we go. That's a little better.
Yeah. Hey guys. I've never been live before. Maybe twice skateboarding actually, but never like this.
So what's your goal, man? Like, do you have? I mean, are you still trying to go pro with skateboarding? I know you put up a post recently where you want to maybe get back into fighting.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, even though I'm like at an age like 38, where like probably not supposed to like do MMA fights, or I don't know. Like I just feel like I'm not what's that called when your prime, I guess. I feel like I haven't like surpassed my prime yet. Like I just feel like I'm better at it sounds cocky, but I feel like better at everything.
Do you feel like you're better now than when you and I were competing back in the day, like in the cage then?
Yeah,
camo?
like I think I could beat my ass right now for like when I was training back then. Like
wow.
For sure.
Wow. Well, I don't know what you feel comfortable talking about, but
anything.
Okay. So you kind of said that you had struggled with substance abuse at some point.
Yeah.
And even while you were fighting, talk to me about that.
That was crazy. Yeah. I pretty much had like a drinking problem like my whole life.
Okay.
Like in high school, like when I drank, it was never to get like you never just have one. Like there was a point to drinking; it was to get drunk, type of thing.
Right.
So,
okay.
Like, when I got older and was able to drink on my own, like that was like the mentality I had, I guess. So like I don't know. And then I eventually got like dependent on it, and then the beers weren't enough. It took me like 10 years of drinking beer to like. I'm like, fuck, this isn't doing nothing. I'm getting fat, and then like. I started drinking hard alcohol, then I got violent, but then I learned how to control that, and then was able to like just function and go to work and like watch my kids, and like it sounds
so you were
bad,
just like a functioning alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can relate because I grew up in a household with one of those, so I get it.
It turned into like hardcore drugs, like every drug you could think of.
Really?
Yeah, and then I just beat each one of those separately, and then like eventually like it was down to like now I just smoke weed. So
yeah, wow. I mean, is there I guess one drug that that you had that you were using that I guess what you took to more than the other ones, or it was just like phases, or what? I guess what I'm asking is like, what did they do for you?
It gave me like I was able to wake up every morning and be like, dang, dude, I feel like when I had a hit or whatever, I'd be like, dang, I feel like I'm good to go. Like I can get on with my day, go to work, and just be mentally fine. Instead of like when I wake up, even now, it's like now it's a lot better that time's gone by, but I didn't feel as comfortable like in my skin, I guess. And my thoughts, and like I just needed to like some kind of like fucked up somehow. So
maybe it was, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what I'm kind of taking away is that it sounds kind of like you're self-medicating. Maybe you had some things that you're, I don't know, like trauma or problems or self-esteem issues, or maybe all of the above, where maybe it just kind of allowed you to kind of like get started and get through your day.
Yeah, I think it definitely, like, it was that, like, yeah, like it started off like for fun at first, or like just what I was doing on the weekends, and then it just escalated, or like happen more and more. But
How did you kick them? I mean, did you do 12 steps? Did you rehab? What happened?
Oh god, like heroin was the worst fucking thing in the world. Like,
Really?
just like the withdrawals were so bad. Like
worse than alcohol, you would say?
Yeah.
Wow.
The withdrawals were worse than alcohol, but alcohol is harder to beat than heroin.
Okay.
For me, at least.
All right.
But I got after. Excuse me.
You're good. Take it. Relax, bro.
My brain was like weird now. But like when I was getting into cage fighting and like running into you, like what was I gonna say? I was drinking back then, but like for my very first fight, I'm like you got to be able to do this sober if you're gonna do it, type of thing. So I made sure to like not drink or like do nothing at all, nothing. And then I fought. I'm like, okay, you're not a pussy. And then like, and then the second fight, like I got introduced to heroin like a month prior. It was at like Ken Rose's place, and fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh, so I'm like
at Ken Rose's, somebody else was using there, or something?
No, I had a fight scheduled.
Oh, got you.
And like I didn't know about heroin withdrawal because my friend got me into it, and then
did you just smoke? You were smoking it, or okay.
Yeah, smoking it, and then to the point where like I had to go get some on my own because I liked it so much.
Right.
And then like since I didn't know about like the withdrawals or anything, I would be like, I'm like, oh, I'll just quit 2 days before my fight, and then I'll be okay because it's not in my system or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like, fuck, dude, after like 2 days, I didn't even know, but I was full on withdrawing. Like there was like 28 fights or something there, and I'm like Ken or whoever, I think it was Ken. I was like, I need to go home right now. I need to fight right now. And I'm like, I was like number 18 or 19, and then he moved me up to like number 4, and like I was like throwing up in the parking lot, not knowing what was going on.
Wow.
And like I fought anyway and made it 3 rounds somehow, and like I almost got him in a rear naked. What's that thing called?
Triangle?
Guillotine.
Guillotine?
It's been so long, damn.
Okay.
And a triangle too. Then you got out of it. But anyways, like I had no idea that I was like full on withdrawing for heroin. And that was crazy. And I still didn't quit after that. I continued doing that for like probably I think the rest of the fights that I had. And then I finally beat that, and then I tried to do MMA again, and I'm like, I just didn't have the energy for it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I can only speak for me. And like, obviously, there are some guys that are so talented, like John Jones. And like, I've known other guys that were addicted to like painkillers, for example, that fought, and they somehow were able to navigate that, and be able to be somewhat successful. But like, I found early on and very quickly that like for me, it's probably just that I didn't have the natural talent for it. But like if I wasn't eating MMA, sleeping MMA, breathing MMA, shitting MMA, like just living it, I couldn't perform anywhere near what I felt like I needed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I needed everything to be, I couldn't do MMA part-time. I think that's why I eventually gave it up, because, I saw there's 2 type of people I saw really succeeding at MMA. And I just, one was the rich kid, right? That had the parents that are like, here you go, Timmy. Like you can just spend all your time in the gym, train all the time. I'll pay for all the personal lessons.
From like Boss Rutens or no?
Yeah. I met some kids at Boss Rutens that were like that. I met some kids. There's some kids that were training, kind of cross training between. There's another place in Agora and Boss Rutens, and then there's also like the 10th Planet. There's some rich kids that I knew that trained at 10th Planet. Eddie Bravo's place out in the valley, and they did good. And then the other people I saw did well were the guys that were like sleeping on the floor, washing the gym, broke as fuck, living in there, like, doing favors for people, like whatever they needed to do to get lessons and maybe not have to pay for it or get a really good deal on it. So they could have a bullshit job that wasn't very demanding and just focus on that. And I got to a point for me personally where it was like, I was having a full-time hardworking job where I was traveling like over 2 hours a day, just getting there and back, and like physically demanding. And I just saw myself slowly get passed up by these people that I used to whoop on. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't compete with the amount of hours they were putting in per day, you know?
And he's like, so weird, like just like the youngsters seeing like the generation evolve or whatever. Like they got like good, like fucking fast, dude. Like,
no, you know what? And you know what it is because when you and I were training, this is like 2010, 2011. I feel like we just kind of were learning the things that were individually successful. Like guys that were good at wrestling and jiu-jitsu were really good. Guys that could stay on their feet and swing were really good. But I feel like now, back then you had to go to a boxing class, you had to go to a Muay Thai class, you had to go to a jiu-jitsu class, you had to find somebody that could get you in a wrestling room and take some, you know, maybe wrestle with the high school kids, whatever you had to do. Yeah. Now they already know all that shit, and it's all in one place. It's you go to the gym, they have the Muay Thai guy there. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like they know what works and how they can make it to where it all works together. Back then you just had to figure out which one was going to work, you know.
It saves so many years.
Yeah,
like, or helps you evolve like so much faster.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, they got it down to a science now. I mean, it's really.
I want to take a fight and like go. I don't want them to match me up with someone my age, like a 40 or a 40.
Yeah, right.
I want to fight a youngster, and I just want to see if I can work with that. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to look where you look like you could be like if you told me.
Not too young, like 25 and above.
Oh, okay.
That sounds like it's not my dating thing either. Preference.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, no, I don't think anybody would have thought that when you said it originally, but like you look young, so you know.
Thank you, drugs.
Yeah, I mean, usually it works the opposite way, but you
drugs saved my life.
Drugs saved your life. Fountain of youth. You found it in some heroin.
Yeah. I've never shot up though, ever.
Oh, that's good. That's good. No track marks, no cysts, no bullshit like that. I mean, that was when people like die from this. I mean, people die from smoking it too, but that's when people really die. I can kind of relate to what you were saying in that you were kind of doing both and you didn't know you couldn't just kick it. You didn't know you could just put it down and it's fine. I'm done with it now, which you can sort of do with alcohol to a lesser extent, you know?
Yeah.
But the same thing happened with me with pain pills, bro. Because when I tore my ACL and stuff like that, I thought I could just quit, and I had panic attacks and all kinds of shit that were happening because I was on them for 4 or 5 months after my surgery. So,
did you ever wake up like in the middle of the night and like honestly feel like you were like dying?
Well, I never had a panic attack until that time, and the first time I had one, I thought I was having a heart attack. I thought it was basically. It was over. I woke up with a couple of night sweats. I woke up shaking a few times. I think the first panic attack before I knew what it was the only time I thought like, oh, maybe this is it. Maybe I'm going to die, you know, but I always felt like, wow, this is awful. This sucks. I want it to stop. But I never, outside of that one incident, I never felt like, wow, I'm going to die, you know? So, I mean, obviously it's not nearly as bad as heroin or whatever.
Do you ever get like anxiety attacks in general? Or,
like, once in a blue moon, you know, it's kind of rare, but I mean, do you now?
I got one the other day, like soberly in the doctor and the dentist, like when they gave me the Novocaine for root canal. I just like everything just felt like I was gonna shut down, blah blah blah. I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
I felt like I was gonna die. And then like the doctor, the dentist lady was like calming me down or like comforting me, but like it didn't help. But after like time went by, like it went away, and like I was like sweating everywhere. It was just awful.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, dude, my brother used to get panic attacks. I'm like, and I had no idea. They're so underrated. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Just like, you're fine, chill out, bro.
Yeah, then, it's if you've never had one, it's.
He told me to punch him in the face once on the freeway. We were driving, and he's like, punch me in the face, you're gonna fucking die.
I don't know if that's the way to deal with it, man, but you know, how old, so is your brother older or younger than you?
He's like 4 years younger.
Okay. So sorry to shift, but speaking of family and stuff, so you said you were a single dad for a period of time when you were fighting. You know, you had a fight through Ken Rose's or at Ken Rose's gym. I'm not sure. And your second fight that you had, you were coming down on heroin at the time. Was your kid still with you at that point?
Yeah. I ended up losing him though when he was 12.
Okay.
From like drugs and
so like CPS came into the picture.
Yeah, that really affected my life too. Like,
yeah, I can imagine.
Like, it was like so heartbreaking. Like you can't do anything to like change this situation.
Yeah, is that kind of like a catalyst that helped you kick the drugs and get clean and stuff?
Yeah, and that was what was the reason why I was able to quit the heroin, was because of my son and getting back on track. And then I got hooked up on other drugs and then quit that for my daughter. But the biggest one was the alcohol.
Yeah.
And quit that one for my daughter. It's like,
are you doing anything now, like a program or anything? Is there a community that
at the moment, through my like insurance through Kaiser, I do like therapy and stuff. Like
that's great.
Once every couple of weeks or something.
Yeah.
And then I go to meetings. I've been going to meetings on Zoom, which is the shit, because it's like it's not just like, oh, it's Zoom and it's like nothing. Like you can really get stuff out of it, like hearing people's stories, and like I don't have to worry about running into like a connect or like someone I know and like relapsing that way, because I'm at home on my computer just chilling.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I didn't think about that. Like you don't have to be out and about, out in public and fighting temptations, or that's kind of fucked up that you could run into a connect at a NA or AA meeting because like
you're just trying to do the right thing and shit.
Yeah, and they're still there. It's almost, and that's fucked up. That's very predatory almost that they're there, you know, because it's like, dude, these are people trying to turn shit around.
They don't even want to be there either. They're like, yeah, I just used last night, and I'm just thinking about that right now. I'm like, shit, why are they even there?
Yeah. That's rough, man. Well, yeah, that's a nuance I never considered. So do you feel like you kind of have you had to like, I guess, cut a lot of people out of your life and like you lost a lot of friends trying to get sober, or?
I think so. I'm not sure. I just realized, I guess, that like who to keep close to me, and like I guess I did cut off a lot just without knowing it, maybe.
Yeah, but through proximity and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just choose only to hang out with like my besties, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, is there anybody that you would say right now is like somebody you're really close to that you spend a lot of time with? I mean, maybe your brother or something, or
not my brother, although we hung out today for the first time in forever, which
okay.
He has that like negative drug view on me, but like now he sees the changes in me and all this stuff. So that's good. But Wes Vanderlinden, he used to train at Scrap Time. Do you know him?
Wes Vanderlinden.
He had a brother named Julian. He has a brother named Julian. He's like super good, like pro. Do they have pro jiu-jitsu? He's like one of those.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know. I feel like Scrap Time, there was two kind of people. Some of them branched off into 10th Planet, and those guys got really good at grappling, you know, and then other guys went to Bob's Riddens, I feel like, after, you know, our sensei left and shit.
Jeff,
yeah.
I know, like that's when we stopped training.
I mean, it slowed down. I know they try to get me to teach classes there. They try to get TJ to teach classes there. We try to keep it going for a while, but like at the end of the day, we're all early to mid 20s at that point, and I feel like none of us really wanted to like. We were fine with teaching, but we really were there to like get better and sharpen our skills. So, you know, like going in and teaching a bunch of like 7 or 8 year olds how to pass guard is great, you know, but you're not learning anything from that.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
Shoot. How old are you at the moment?
32. Yeah.
Dude, you could still fight. I mean, do you ever think about it just like for the heck of it?
Oh, dude, all the time. I mean, I still have my stupid male ego that like gets in the way every now and then, like where it's like there are things I know for a fact that, you know, I don't want to say I used to go out and look for trouble, but I used to go out with the mentality of like, I'm going to go drink or party or talk to these chicks or whatever. And if anybody fucks with me, I'm going to beat them up kind of thing, which is awful. That's just stupid. I mean, really, like it's a fucking nothing short of a miracle that I didn't go to jail in my early 20s, but probably just because like, you know, the parties I would go to, you know,
That's
like
a good question. Did you what got you into starting to train in MMA?
Okay, so yeah, a lot of different things. This is about you, by the way, but I'll answer this real quick.
Yeah.
I've been in sports my whole life. I when I was very young, I did Kempo karate, and I really loved karate. And then when I was 12, I got into Taekwondo. So I've always been in love with the striking aspect of sport, you know. And I always was curious about boxing, and I was always super into that. But they didn't. I mean, my parents were very, I guess, restrictive because I had seizures as a kid as to what kind of sports they wanted me to play. So they didn't want me to get hit in the head and shit like that. So naturally, as I got older and they could tell me, you know, essentially they gave me a little bit more freedom. I started to gravitate towards violent physical sports. So football became really like, I loved it. And then I went away over a summer to try to play for Santa Barbara. And that didn't work out because I just drank the whole time. And then I came back home and I was trying out for Moore Park and I was going to make that team. But I tore my ACL at an optional practice and I was 210 pounds. I was trying to get bigger.
Oh, shit.
And I lost like 35 pounds after the muscle atrophied and all that, being in bed and all this other shit for a long time. And so I was like, well, unless I take a bunch of steroids and I'm in the gym 3 times a day and eating, I just remember hating how much food I was putting in my body every day, like 10,000 calories some days. Do I want to do that all again? No, but do I want to compete at something? Yeah. So I got back into martial arts and then it was kind of a rabbit hole. I saw Scrap Time right there on LA at the time. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. They do boxing in there. And then I saw Sensei Geoff and it was just like one other dude in there. I think his name was Ramsey. But he was teaching kickboxing. I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. So I, you know, talked to them. They're like, oh, we do MMA. And I was already a fan of watching it. You know, at the time, my favorite like athlete on the planet was Quentin Rampage Jackson. I don't know if you remember that guy, but that guy was fucking fun to watch.
I think automatic powerbomb.
Yeah, dude, that guy was great. And so I was like, all right, let me give this a try. And I just kind of stumbled into it. And I liked it because it had weight classes, because it wasn't just like football where it's just about being the biggest, strongest.
Yeah, so now I have a chance.
Yeah. So like, you know, everything's kind of, you don't need to be the biggest, strongest, fastest guy on the field. You know, you can be however big you are and just work with, you know, if you're long, then use your reach. If you're stocky, then use your speed or your wrestling or whatever, you know. So that's kind of how I got into it. What about you? Like what drove you to MMA? What got you into it?
I was like in Alabama trying to escape my problems with my first ex.
Okay.
And like our son was like 1 at the time. And then I saw like the Ultimate Fighter on TV, like the first season.
Oh, okay. Is that the one with Nate Diaz? Was Nate Diaz the one that won?
No, the first season that was the fourth season. The first season was Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell as the coaches, and it was like Chris Lieben, Nate Marquardt, Diego Sanchez, Stephen Bonner, Forrest Griffin. And when I saw that, I'm like, what the fuck? I cuss.
You can cuss. I don't care. Nobody gives a shit.
Yes. Yeah, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna do that one day. I'm like, I just knew I'm gonna do it. Like,
yeah,
I don't care if I'm good at it. I don't care if I'm bad at it. I'm just gonna do it. And then, like 3 years later, I was going to jiu-jitsu and like doing all this stuff and like kicking things. And then I did it one day. I was like, well, I did it, and then I just kept going. The drugs fucked me up, but still good.
Yeah, but now, I mean, and also too, like one thing that I really like about the MMA community is that there's people that we trained with years ago that like they spent $400-500 and got like a 12x12 wrestling mat put in their garage, and they just have like little roll sessions on weekends, and they have bags hanging up and shit. I kept in touch with one of them until about a year ago, but like, I mean, I just like that it's something that it's not like football, man. Like when you quit football, there's no place you can just go and like call up the homies and play football. It's like you kind of have to let that go. But MMA and jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and stuff, it seems like it's a more of a tight-knit community. So yeah. I don't know. I always think to myself, man, the only regret I personally have is that there was a point in time, and it was a small gym, of course, but where I felt like there was nobody in that gym at a particular time that could hang with me. That's my ego, whatever, but that's how I felt inside.
Yeah, you kind of have to be like that.
But like in sparring sessions and rolling sessions and other things, like I was seeing that too. Like there wasn't, you get subbed every now and then, somebody catches you in something cool, but like for the most part, I was kind of on top. I felt on top of my game, and I've seen guys that I had trained with go pro and make money off fights. And I think to myself, man, if I just sold out, because I never fully sold out on it. I never was in there 5 days a week, training 2 hours a day minimum, running, all that stuff. I never fully sold out. And that's the one thing I kind of think about sometimes is like, damn, man, what if, what if I just gave myself a 2-year window? Hey, listen, this is all you're going to do for 2 years from 22 to 24. You're going to have a bullshit side job, but just enough to like eat ramen and like pay your little bullshit $400 rent, which I was paying at the time, which was very doable. Mm-hmm. And like your whole rest of your life, you weren't partying. You weren't trying to climb the corporate ladder. You weren't trying to get better at your job. You're only trying to focus on MMA. That's everything you did was for MMA. Sometimes I think it kills me a little bit because sometimes I think about like, I feel like if I gave myself that chance, like who knows, dude, I could have been on a major promotion roster somewhere, like who knows how far I could have gone, but everything, it's so cliche, but I do feel like everything does happen for a reason. And somebody told me this recently, and I'm sure this is also really cliche, but somebody was telling me nothing happens to you, everything happens for you. So who knows, like maybe I would have been a worse person if, I could see that happening if I made money off of fighting and my big ego and my arrogance and all that stuff, like was sort of like you sort of need that to be great to some extent. Yeah. But then what kind of person would I have been? What kind of a husband would I have been? Who knows like how that would have played out. So I guess everything happens for a reason. But I do sometimes think about like, damn, man, if I really went all in, what could have happened,
Shit, I've never really went all in either, now that I think about it. Damn,
it's different,
Like, fuck. And we're totally capable of it, like doing that. Like, shit, yeah. Why don't we do it? Are we pussies inside?
No, I don't think. I think anyone that has the balls to step in the cage at any point in their life isn't a pussy. Like I think that it takes a certain type of mentality to just even get yourself in the right psyche to compete in combat sports, whether it's boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, or MMA, or even jiu-jitsu to a certain extent. But like, yeah, I think one thing you can say that nobody can take away from you is that you did do it. You did fight. There's so many. How many guys? I have met so many guys rolling and sparring and all this stuff, right? And it was when I was going to new gyms. I was trying to get different looks, because when you're in the same gym training with the same 10 to 15 guys, you get better to a certain point, but also it's not necessarily getting better. You learn where you can get lazy too. Cause it's like, let's just say I'm sparring you, right? And I know mentally that you do this thing. You have this habit, right? And I pick up on it. And like, let's say, okay, when Geoff throws the right, his left hand comes down. Okay, so I'm going to bait him into throwing the right straight and then come over the top with the hook, to counter it. Is that making you better? Not really. It's making you see things, but if you don't tell the person,
I was gonna say, if you don't tell them,
yeah.
they're not
But
gonna...
that was, and honestly, and I'm sure I did it too, because everyone has something in their game that they can improve on. But I was picking up on little things like that, and I wouldn't tell people. And how fucked up is that? Just because I wanted, it didn't matter. It was a competitive thing, but in sparring and jiu-jitsu and whatever, I just wanted to win, even though, like, even if no one was looking, dude, I would want to win. So, like, but when I went to other gyms and I would get my ass whooped on and shit like that, it was very
humbling.
Very humbling. Yeah, very humbling.
Like just like walking away from like a hard sparring session and totally got your ass whooped.
Oh yeah, dude. But what I was gonna say, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. How many guys have you experienced? I've been to other gyms. I've gotten my ass whooped, and maybe it was an off day, or maybe the guy was just truly better than me. Both possibilities could be a thing. And then I'm like, yo, dude, when's your next fight? And they're like, oh, I don't fight like that. You know what I'm saying?
Reason that bothers the fuck out of me.
Yeah, me too. And what I was gonna say is,
why are you here, dude? I'm just
and yeah, no, for real though.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, I guess it makes sense because you can never be too prepared to be able to defend yourself and things like that. But like, when you said, well, why don't we try it again? Are we pussies? Like, my answer is no, because you and I, we got in, we actually did the damn thing. It's safe in a gym when you're with a bunch of guys and there's a bunch of people there, and you know damn well if you do something dirty or if you beat the dog shit out of somebody and it's uncalled for, that you're going to get whooped on in there. They're not going to let that fly.
Yeah.
They got a sense that they could twist you up into a pretzel. They got a Muay Thai guy that could fucking snap your leg in half, you know?
Yeah.
So there's consequence. So it's safe in there. It's not safe in the cage, bro. Like, once that door closes behind you, even if it's amateur, whatever, I know for me, people say it's fucked up. I don't want to hurt anybody. I never want to injure anybody. That's not how I felt. There was a time in my life where I was like, I want to break somebody. Like, every time I go in here, I'm only going in here to destroy. Like, I'm here to inflict harm and stuff because I can get away with it here. It's completely legal. And by the way, the other guy signed up to be, for that. And you also know that the other guy could be just as fucked up as you in the head and feel the same way. So you don't really know until you get in there. So the fact that you were willing to go in and find out, that's, to me, it's a different thing, bro. It's a different thing.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that do not have that or just can't do it. Like,
yeah,
like they just can't. I don't know why. Just like, how come our mind doesn't block that part out and make us not do it? We were able to, I don't know, be able to just get in there and like overcome those like mental, whatever.
I think for me, I never went in fearless. Like, I know some people that talk about, I have a hard time believing people when they're like, yeah, dude, I wasn't afraid. And I'm just like, how? Why were you not afraid? Because every time I was scared, but I would force myself, my body and stuff like that, to choose fight when it was feeling fight or flight. You know, that instinctual, like, the adrenaline's going, and you have a choice where you could run the other way and just pull out or whatever, say you're hurt, whatever.
It's crazy when that thing walks behind you, you can't do shit.
And it's like it's like almost like, it's like for people who are deathly afraid of the roller coasters. Once they lock you in and the ride gets going, you gotta wait till it's over, bro. Like, you're just there for it, It's too late now to turn back, So I think there's something exciting and like invigorating, and there's not another. I've never been able to feel that same feeling through anything else in my entire life. Like that, the high from that, to me, is unmatched.
That is true. I never thought about that. But I did think of like shit, since we've been able to do that, like anything else in life, like, oh man, I gotta go to this job interview. I gotta go do this. Like, it seems so possible. Like, dude, after doing cage fighting, I could do like anything in my mind.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's like, what's going to intimidate me now? Like, I've already gotten punched in the face by a person that was training his whole life for
in front of people.
Yeah. So not only do you lose and you have to live with yourself and look yourself in the mirror with your black eyes and shit, but you have to hear about it from 100 other people or whatever, and it's going to sell at the time they would sell DVDs of it and all this shit.
Well,
now I'm sure it gets just fucking streamed everywhere.
Now you get a meme.
Yeah, now you get a meme. God, dude, I'm glad I didn't live in the meme times because my 2 official cage fights like that were through Camo, I lost them both. The last one I lost split decision. The first one I just got dominated by some dude from Gracie Torrance, who was like 20 pounds heavier than me. But they told me last minute, oh, he's not going to make weight. I'm like, all right, but I was arrogant.
That's
so
anyway, it's still cool that you still did it anyway.
That's what I was like. Well, I ain't no bitch, and it's like everybody told me pull out because he was like 15 pounds heavier than me. So, but you don't sign up to pull out, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was of the mentality where it was like, fuck that. I'm gonna beat this guy regardless. Nah, dude. I was on my back for 3 rounds. He didn't do anything. He didn't finish me in the one
victory.
I mean, I guess, but it still sucks to lose no matter what.
That feeling's so awful.
Yeah, it really is. Because you just got to live with it, and you think like, oh, the next one will get it out of my system. But because I lost both of my,
have you ever got subbed?
No, I never got. Okay. All of my fights went to decision.
Never finished.
And then in kickboxing, I had just smokers, but I had way more success. Like I just never lost.
Oh, yeah.
It was only like 5-6 fights, So I'm not, and against guys that,
That's so cool though.
Yeah, so it was just, the gyms would agree we're gonna put on a show. You're gonna be part of the show, and I'd be like, cool, whatever. And it wasn't really a weight class thing. It was like
smokers better sometimes because I don't have to get blood work or nothing.
Yeah, all that. But so I went in arrogant, but I think the long and short of it is if you're willing to fucking get in there and risk getting your ass, I don't think anybody can say that you're weak or scared or lame or whatever. Like you got in there and did it. Everyone wants to be a fucking armchair coach and say what they would have did. It's like, all right, Dick, get in there and do it. You know what I'm saying? But
I was gonna say another thing about losses. They say like, what do they say? They say something like the percentage of a guy to go back in the cage after a loss and fight again is so rare, and we both done that.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. Fuck. I don't know. I do miss it, dude. I do miss it, but we can.
Would you ever go in there again just to get one victory? Because that's what I'm thinking about trying.
I honestly don't have the time for it, and then I can only imagine what the monsters look like at 185 right now.
Yeah.
Like I was fighting at 170, and right now I'm like the leanest I've been in years because I've been dieting and shit, and I'm weighing 190 right now. So I don't even think I could lose another 20 pounds even to make weight for one day. So I'd have to fight at 185. And God, dude, I'm sure they're bigger than me. I'm sure they're nastier than me.
We should pull a move like they do and just put the fight at 170. I can't make weight.
Yeah, no, dude, it's just not in my heart. But I don't know. I've thought about it. I would like to spar again. Who knows? For me, it'd be one of those things where it's like if I felt good in the gym and I saw that I was hanging with the kids and stuff, and they're everyone was signing up for a fight, I would probably be like, all right, fuck it. I'll sign up for 185. I'll make the weight for 2 seconds and then rehydrate and all that shit. Balloon up to 190 and probably get my ass whooped by a young 22-year-old monster, but I would totally do it again. I wouldn't do it unless I felt like I put the work in. I wouldn't just do it to do it. I don't want to just go in and test myself now because I haven't been training consistently.
At my age right now, I feel like I'm so lazy that if someone just said you have 2 weeks, I'm like, fuck it, all right.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you got the itch, it sounds like, bro.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, I think this was a really good interview.
Yeah, that was fun too.
Yeah.
I never got to do one before.
Well, is there anything you want to say to the people? Plug your Instagram, your Facebook, whatever shit you got going on that they should check out?
Oh, can I say one thing about?
Go ahead. Yeah.
About mentality and my boy Wes.
Yeah.
He the reason why I can be. It's weird. I think we were talking about if I could beat myself up when I was training, then now, I started training a little bit after I quit. I retired from MMA.
Okay.
And he got my mentality so on point, and we were training and sparring and just having a a better mentality can make like a huge difference. Like it was crazy. Like
Yeah.
that's just why I feel like I can beat my ass. But yeah, that was a freaking dope thing.
Cool, man. Well, hey, Garage Goons, episode 23, most trash show on YouTube. Where can they find you on Instagram or whatever else?
Oh yeah, Skate Ninja Geoff at Instagram .something.
Yeah, GEOFF, right? Not JEFF. Right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Skate Ninja Geoff, check him out. He's got all kinds of cool flippy trick videos. Pretty dope. Most trash show on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace. All right, and we